Nothing better on a hot day than a cool, refreshing glass of milk. I really gotta stop putting those next to each other. Boom! Cravendale! Oh. Can I show this? It is a product. Is this copyright? Can I get sued for showing milk? Boom! Cravendale! Milk's so good the cows would like it. Return to them, please! It's a good, strong choice of milk, and it's had some pretty good marketing campaigns. First the cows wanted the milk back, then the cats wanted it all for themselves. The fluffy, greedy bastards! But you might remember once upon a time that Cravendale had an ad campaign of a stop-motion gang of pals featuring a cow, a pirate, and a gay golfer? 4! Turns out he's actually a cyclist. Same thing. My particular favourite was this ad where they played musical statues.
Ready! All around the world, rock and roll craze!
I want that milk!
Oh, you win!
Cheating bastard! Joke's on you, asshole. I swapped your glass with the jizz glass.
Lovely.
I knew it! The campaign was a well-made and neat collection of adverts, and it was pretty popular in the UK. Turns out a large portion of the pieces, and much of its concept though, was actually inspired by one of the animating company Pic Andre's previous projects, A Town Called Panic, a French-Belgian animation that had flown right past me. It was a series of animated shorts that aired on Nickelodeon in the UK and lasted all of 5 minutes each, which made them perfect as advert fillers. A modern day example of something similar would be the CITV ad filler Pat and Stan, also a French production, with the biggest difference between the two being that A Town Called Panic wasn't total shit. The biggest difference between the milk ads and the show was that instead of a pirate, a cow and a cyclist, the main characters were a cowboy, a Native American Indian and a horse. Me never seeing A Town Called Panic on television probably came down to the fact that I instantly stopped paying attention or straight up left the room whenever an ad break came on. During my ignorance, A Town Called Panic had become popular enough to birth a film adaptation, which is how I found out about the series when it aired one night on Film 4 at 2 AM. Being French, A Town Called Panic has subtitles, which is a great choice of film to air at 2 in the morning, because people don't want to read while they're awake, and the only people who are awake at that time are insomniacs whose eyes totally aren't burning from being up all night, and would gladly read small text on a bright screen, and people who did so well at reading in school they're working a very prestigious night shift. I was unfortunately suffering the former, but the movie was so charming and affectionate I was glad to give it the benefit of the doubt. It was strangely soothing for a movie with panic in the title, and when I woke up in an overslept daze the next afternoon, I was left with flashes of colourful toys in motion, a product of what I had discovered to be one of my favourite animated films of all time. The DVD cover boasts that it's in breathtaking 2D, which, considering this was released in 2010, the height of the belated 3D craze, is not only a strong selling point, it's a fucking achievement. It also states that it's Toy Story on absinthe. First off, saying anything is something, but on absinthe is the most French thing ever. Secondly, have you not seen Toy Story? The scene in Sid's room where all the creep toys come to life? Toy Story is Toy Story on absinthe. Our movie opens at what's less of a town called Panic and more of a couple of houses situated in the vicinity of Panic, where a local traffic warden is picking up a package. Gee, I wonder what that could be. It's a bright new day and the townsfolk are... They just gonna stay in bed, or... These characters are very relatable. Whoa, okay, never mind. These guys are the biggest morning people I've ever seen. Who's that alert the second they wake up? Instantly, you can see the great style in some of the set designs. The characters use a lot of oversized objects that would have been difficult to make a smaller model version of, or items that are more convenient or time-saving for either the shot or the model characters in their world, like this 3-nozzled coffee pot. You can tell it's still kind of a shortcut, but it's a really lovable one that works well for the animation style. The characters all sit down for morning coffee in a newspaper. Let's see here, Racing Post. Oh shit, the 3:30 at Chepstow, I'm supposed to be in that! And each character has their own newspaper catered to them. I'm sure that's not biased journalism or anything. In the mail, Horse gets a letter wishing him a happy birthday. Something about a horse gift for a gift horse. There's a joke in there somewhere. The material's there.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear horse. Happy birthday to you.
This reminds the others that they forgot to get him anything, and they mull over what they could possibly do for his birthday. Jesus! Is he imagining a barbecue, or are fires just spontaneously igniting under delicious animals? But yes, Indian has the idea for a barbecue, so he draws out a crude plan to build one.
Qu'est-ce que c'est, Dieu?
C'est a barbecue.
Magnifique. They're out of bricks, though. Maybe the internet can shed some light. You can buy anything on there. I just hope no one's using the communal computer.
Wow.
Whoa! Well, you know, we've all been in this situation, you know. Can't blame the guy for polishing the horseshoe. Cowboy and Indian have a cunning plan, though. They're going to cause a distraction so they can use the computer. They get their neighbour, Farmer Stephen, to call up Horse and ask him to pick up his animals from school. Just roll with it. I don't think I want him anywhere near a school. The plan works, and Cowboy and Indian get on the computer to order some bricks. Dude, you spelt your name... My man, you spelt your name wrong? Actually, you know what? Forget about it. Don't worry about it. Spelling your name wrong make you an adept internet user. You'll fit right into the YouTube comment section. Just kidding. I know that's the French spelling. Cowboy brings Indian some coffee. No doubt reparations for the spread of colonization in the West during the American Revolution. Sorry for raping your land. Is that 1 sugar or 2? You know, I'm just now realizing how weird it is that a cowboy, an Indian, and a horse all live together. That is a person living in a house with a member of the civilization he seeks to destroy and the animal he tames and puts to work. That's like a Carthaginian living in a house with a Roman and an elephant. Cowboy accidentally sets the cup down on the 0 key and the order skyrockets. Luckily, no one has had to pay for these bricks or enter any credit card information. And of course, Indian submits the form without checking all the details and information first. Sorry, did I say that this guy was an adept internet user? Master, I meant. Master. This guy's clearly an archetype for the average internet user. Terms and conditions? What are those? I just see a big shiny accept button. Over at the school, Horse is checking in at the reception desk. And...
On se promène pas comme ça dans mon conservatoire, hein?
Ouais.
Yep. That's how the world works. Horse clearly has a crush on the animal's music teacher, Miss Longery. Maybe Horse can impress Miss Longery and show some of these animals how to rock. Normally, I'm more of a singer, but my throat's a little hoarse right now. You see, I'm a cannibal. Panic ensues at home when Indian and Cowboy realise they've ordered way too many bricks. Worried what Horse will do, Cowboy tries to take off, but Indian isn't taking any of his shit. Kill him. Do it. Avenge your fallen Indian brethren. The Cherokee, the Wichita, the Yamaha, the Winnebago, the Canucks, the Yokos. If I saw this chaos unfolding in front of my doorstep, I'd shit bricks. Though that would just be adding to the problem. Luckily, this mess is all cleaned up by the time Horse gets home. No bricks here except from one sturdy barbecue and a whole party waiting inside. Oh, look who came. Guy with the road sign.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Oh. Portrait. It's unexpected.
Wonder what this could be. Oh.
Anyway, this guy's actually a policeman, not a traffic warden. And as with any party, someone gets way too drunk, in this case Stephen, and when he sees policemen dancing with his wife, decides to pull a broken bottle on him. Threatening a policeman with a broken bottle? I thought this was France. I had no idea Panic was somewhere in Manchester. After a party like that, it's time for a good long night's sleep. Oh, so that's where those bricks went. Piling that many bricks on top of a house is a bad idea though, and the weight starts to cave in. Dude, do you maybe not want to stick your head out of a window as it sinks into the ground? That's like sticking your head out of a moving elevator. Luckily, the gang make it out of the house in time, but the destruction sure causes a ruckus. The next morning, Stephen is surprisingly chipper and loud for someone who should have the biggest hangover in the history of animated family films.
Mon tracteur! Mon Dieu! Un acte terroriste! Ici! Nom de Dieu! Mon tracteur!
What kind of a mindset do you have to be in to wake up, see your vehicle destroyed, and assume terrorist attack? I was led to believe the French had an affinity for destroying vehicles. Namely, setting cars on fire. If I was French and I woke up to see my tractor smashed into pieces, I'd just assume it was a Tuesday. You've got to give it to Cowboy and Indian. They did a hell of a job on that barbecue. Still standing. The only thing, in fact, that's still standing. Horse is not happy to find out that this was all their fault, though.
Ma baraque! Oh shit!
What? Did he just say, oh shit?
Oh shit!
It really sounds like it, doesn't it? Is the French word for deer pronounced shit? The guys said about rebuilding their house. After all, they've got plenty of material to work with. But when a storm comes, they take shelter in Stephen's barn for the night.
Tu étais à la lumière, Anne? Oui, oui, voilà. Oh, merde.
Okay, well the donkey definitely said shit. The next morning, the new walls are somehow mysteriously gone. Nothing left to do now but rebuild them again. I tell you, they'd get a lot more done if Cowboy and Indian didn't keep slacking off. This horse puts up with a lot of shit. Nobody's taking any chances this time, so they chain the walls down for the night, for good measure. Doesn't seem to work so well though. One thing's for sure, the walls disappearing is definitely deliberate. The chain seems to have been cut clean with something, even though they really just kind of yanked at them. No one seemed to cut them or anything. Stephen suspiciously has cutting tools on his tractor, so policeman assumes he must be the culprit. So what's this going to take? A pair of handcuffs, arrest warrant? Or that. You know. I mean, it's not how I would have done it, but I'm not going to tell the French police how to do their job. It's a different world. And yeah, jail him for a ludicrous crime you have no evidence for. Don't jail him for attempted assault with a deadly weapon or threatening an officer of the law or anything, you anorak pillock. After that climactic incident, Horse is determined to hunt down the real people who took his walls. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you're looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have any money. I'm a horse. If you give me back my walls now, that'll be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't give me back my walls, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will take a massive shit on you. They camp out to try and capture the culprit in the act when the real thieves turn up, and it's the Coneheads in scuba gear? The gang takes the thieves by surprise and remain in hot pursuit as they chase one of them through the mountains. They lose sight of the thief but follow the trail to a hut in the woods, where Cowboy and Indian argue over who gets to ring the doorbell.
Ah, c'est marrant. Pauvre Indien. Ah ça, il a voulu son nez. Il vient de pas se plaindre, hein.
Yeah, Indian, it's your fault. You should have known that a bear wearing a red cap would answer the door and try to murder you. Cowboy and Horse use the distraction to search the house when they come across a trap door. Opening it, however, turns out to be a big mistake. At least they found the thief. Eventually, Indian catches up, but the resulting weight breaks the cliff edge and they plummet into an abyss. You're having a stroke.
De la lave. Venez voir. On s'approche du centre de la Terre. Le centre de la Terre. De la lave.
Ah, never mind. It's just the centre of the earth underneath a trapdoor in the basement of a bear's house. 'Cause fuck it. Gerard manages to escape by creating a grappling hook out of Cowboy and Indian's lasso and arrows, which he doesn't so much trick them for, he just kind of asks for the stuff and they give it to him. Luckily, the rock gets wedged into the cliff sides, but Indian and Horse assume the worst though when they find Cowboy's boots hanging off the edge. At least Indian now has Cowboy's coveted rifle. Oh look, he's fine. Apart from his knees are bending in the opposite direction. I guess modelling a kneeling down position was too much to ask for. Let's just invert the legs backwards like some kind of hell demon. Oh hi. Oh yes, I'm up here on this rock. Yes, that's right. Yes, hi. I'm fine. Yes, hello. That's right. Yeah, I'll find a way down somewhere, shall I? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, also I'm possessed by Satan. Welcome to my domain. There's a change of pace when they climb up out of the cliff and emerge from an igloo. Turns out they were under the North Pole. Travelling through the snow, they get swallowed up by a giant robot penguin. Its sole purpose is to collect snow, roll it into balls, and throw them at innocent animals. This penguin is in fact operated by 3 sadistic scientists. That's what atheism does, you know. It makes you build giant flightless birds in various climates to play childhood pranks on innocent creatures. God's creatures. The word of our Lord. Who, for an unknown reason, enslaved the gang, including Gerard the thief, and used them to clean their robot. Meanwhile, back at the village, policeman and Janine start piecing together the clues when they find Horse's wallet and the fallen walls. Stephen is subsequently released from prison when they finally come to the conclusion that the gang is missing. Missing is an understatement. They're forced to clean a giant crystal ball for scientists who just run over sleeping mammoths willy-nilly. You done trampled Manny. You done fucked up. The mammoth takes none of that and starts punching up the penguin. The scientists step outside to sort out the fuss. I'm sure they'll use some stunning technology to study the creature or... Okay, who are these guys? They should be successful supervillains. Why are they hurling snow around in a giant penguin? With the scientists distracted, everyone uses the machine to locate the village and plan to hurl themselves back using the snow scoop. But Gerard sneakily redirects them into the middle of the ocean while no one's looking. The scientists head back to the penguin to see what's going on, but it's too late. The heroes have already flown the coop. Get it? Coop? 'Cause penguins are birds. Can't fly. It's one distraction after another for these scientists. They should have been paying attention to the mammoth, who's about to get his own back. Extinct creature discovered by science 1. Science 0. The rest of the villagers have a long day ahead of them looking for the missing gang, so a hearty breakfast's in order.
Oh, elle était délicieuse cette tarte. Excellent café.
You didn't want some milk with that coffee? Good chance for a product placement. Meanwhile, policeman is putting up missing posters throughout the street. Yeah, in case the 3 other people in town who live next door and don't know where they are have seen them. Once the snowball hits its destination, Gerard takes off without the others, but eventually the melting snow drops the rest of them into the ocean. Time to return to the hunt for Gerard, the nautical knobhead. He's clearly some kind of fishman. He's got to be somewhere underwater.
Ah, enfin, ma baraque.
Oh, hey, it's the walls. Now, where are the other walls? You know, because they stole 2 sets of walls. I expected maybe a condo. Or at least an extension. Maybe a conservatory of some kind. The house is upside down. It doesn't fucking matter. When they go to get their walls back, they're chased from the house by a school of piranha, but luckily take shelter in an undersea superstore. This scene is kind of weird. It's really the only scene in the movie that I don't like. It's only a short scene, but it doesn't actually go anywhere and is just kind of pointless. Looks like it's about to have a point though when Indian and Cowboy try to buy some bullets and arrows for their gun and bow, but Horse tells them they don't have time. Yeah, why would you want weapons and ammunition? You're about to launch an assault on a house. Why would they come in useful at all? They trick the family of fish people into leaving their house by pretending it's Christmas, with Horse dressed up as Santa. Merry Fishmas! And a happy Hanukkah for all you Jews out there. I don't have a fish pun for Jews. If you're offended by Merry Fishmas or Happy Hanukkah because of their religious specificity, then Happy Halibut Days to you. Yeah. Your pun's not as good, because, quite frankly, you're a whiny Trigosaurus bitch who doesn't deserve one. Once they have the house to themselves, they try to cut the walls back out, and I guess now is as good a time as any for gravity to start applying. When the fish people find their house destroyed, they chase the gang up through an opening in the water, which conveniently turns out to be Stephen's pond. The guys try to block up the pond with their surplus of bricks, but the thieves find another way out through Stephen's plumbing. Why do these guys have to steal every house they find? What are they, gypsies? Or maybe carnies?
You can't do this to me. What about the carny code?
The villagers and thieves fight against each other, and ammunition includes pigs, cows, swordfish, and shells. The animation style works so well for the ensuing fight. It's incredibly zany, quick-paced, and imaginative. It really conveys the jaunty and childish imagery the creators wanted for the film, and it's just such a fun scene to watch. Probably my favourite in the whole movie. Anyway, during the conflict, the bricks eventually sink into the pond, causing water pressure. The water bursts, causing a flood and destroying the village, right down to Miss Longree's school. Everyone seems pretty bummed to find the village in ruins. Not to worry though, everyone, because Indians found the broom! And endearingly, that lifts everyone's spirits and they get to work cleaning up the mess. Plus a tad later, fast forward to a year later, and everything's cleaned up and back to normal. Even the sea people are part of the village now, living peacefully under Stephen's pond. And surprise, it's Horse's birthday again. Everyone's thrown a party for him at the school, which, for some reason, is now conjoined into the undersea supermarket. I don't know if for gift shop purposes, or saltwater helps with percussion, or... And wouldn't you know it, Cowboy and Indian are late for his birthday again. Oh, rookie mistake, lads. Same screw up, twice in a row. I'd expect this kind of thing from a robot and an astronaut. But not from you two. At least they remembered a present this time, although I don't know how you keep a rocket that size a secret, especially in the garage. You know, the room that the one person in the house who drives a car might visit from time to time. In an effort to get it unstuck from the doorway, Cowboy preemptively lights the firework, which coincidentally careens into the pond, exploding underwater and firing its sparkles up throughout the landscape. And as Cowboy and Indian are swept up into the sky by the colourful chaos, our movie ends exactly how it should, as the visual representation of ADD. Wow, what a great movie, all about... Hey, where you from?
Hey, where you from?
If you can find a film that manages to be as endearing and lovable with as simple yet outrageous a concept as two guys try to make their roommate a birthday present and then go out on a hunt to find their house, then I'd love to hear about it. The film itself is essentially an elongated version of one of the episodes. Every time an animated show gets a movie made, they always say, oh well, we just made a longer episode of the show, but it always still has this feeling of we have to make it bigger and more epic. This genuinely feels humble, and as crazy as it is, it really feels like everyday stuff to these characters. The series is great too, you should check it out. It's charming, the animation style really adds to the comedy, and if you don't mind subtitles, it's a really easy movie to just switch on and watch anytime. Ironically relaxing for a film that takes place in a town called Panic. Wow, that was a cheesy end line. Cheesier than this milk after you turn it to cheese. Because you boil it, right? And then you whisk it. You put it in a tub. You freeze it. You wrap it in foil. You allow it to gelatinize. And then that's how milk gets cheesified. Yeah.
Now you know how it's made.
You separate the curds and whey.